things run down in nature. How is it you guys can say things get more complex? Because you put energy into the system. The sun generates energy into the system that creates complex systems out of simple systems and so on. You put the burger in the microwave, it heats up and that kind of thing. As for what Jesus meant when he said, I am the way and the truth and the life, and so forth, well, he meant that he is the Savior. He meant that he is the guy you should follow. That's what all proselytizers do. That's what all cult leaders do. They have to do that. That's what they do.
Kyle?
The difference between a religion and a cult is about 100 years.
Well, when we have to look at truth, we have to realize if you took 10,000 people who founded religions and you were to pick from one of them, Michael, my question is, which one are you going to pick? And that's why when we take a look at the scriptural sciences and how they confirm these things, we have to look at, does the one then who said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, does he say that in a context of a true book that was that not only recorded the events that he did, but recorded these claims that we've made about the expansion of the universe, its sudden beginning, and entropy in the universe? I believe that Jesus is capable of validating one particular religion out of the 10,000 by standing behind the truth in the scriptures.
Dr. Hovind.
I think Michael Shimmer's answer to the sexual reproduction was definitely not an answer at all. His statement basically was, it works good to supply varieties so natural selection can work on it, therefore it must have evolved. No, therefore it was designed, okay? I would ask a bigger question, why would any animal want to reproduce more of its own kind, which just simply makes more mouths to feed? Why not instead evolve the ability to live forever? That'd be a lot smarter. As far as the second law of thermodynamics, his answer was you add energy. Well, here's Sue at 20. Here she is at 90 after a lot of energy. There she is at 3,000. The idea of adding energy is absolutely ludicrous, okay? This is always the answer, though. They'll say, well, if you add energy, the sun adds energy to the earth. Yes, I know. But the universe is a closed system, so that really begs the question. It only answers it for the earth. Secondly, adding energy is absolutely destructive unless there's a mechanism to utilize the energy. We added quite a bit of energy to Iraq in the last few months. The Japanese added energy to Pearl Harbor. We added energy to a couple of their cities. Didn't organize a thing, okay? The sun adds energy to this earth, all right, but it's going to destroy the roof on your house, not build it. The sun's energy will destroy your house. It'll destroy the roof on your car. It'll destroy your paint job on your car. The sun's energy is destructive to everything except chlorophyll, which is an extremely complex molecule. So the same sun's energy shines on the other planets and doesn't build anything there. I think that to say that, adding energy solves the problem is absolutely a simplistic answer and totally devoid of any scientific common sense. Adding energy is destructive unless there's something to utilize the energy.
3 more.
That's my final answer.
3 more.
If God didn't create the world by his knowledge, then where did things learn to do what they do? And where did knowledge come from?
I understand the need to understand the Bible is true, but how is it critical to believe in evolution, to believe in Jesus as my personal Savior?
My question is about the miracle that happened with Adam and Eve and the rib being broken off the man. Is that true that we only have half a rib?
Dr. Hovind, let's start with you and move to the right this time.
I will not have time to get PowerPoint ready for this one, but no, man does not have an extra rib. There is only one bone in the human body that will grow back if you take it out, and that is the lower rib. There's a good article about that. You can see in my videotape number 2, and I cover that. The blue one out there on the table. I didn't get time to even write down the other 2 questions, so I guess I'll just, let's see.
Oh, help yourself.
Yeah, you took notes. Good, okay.
Critical to abandon.
Can you read
evolution.
that?
Why should he abandon evolution?
Okay. Why should he abandon evolution? There is absolutely no scientific evidence that says a dog ever came from a non-dog or a dog's capable of producing a non-dog. There's no evidence for evolution at all. So why on earth would you compromise a perfectly good Bible which has never been proven wrong with a dumb theory that's never been proven right? All right, leave it alone.
Kyle?
I don't know that I clearly understood the question, and somebody is going to have to clarify it for us. What does it mean? Where did people learn, or how do we learn? knowledge, if knowledge is a construct, where did it come from? Well, I mean, you just have to, all you have to do is watch a baby grow from the crib to manhood. You start out with nothing. It used to be John Locke, I guess, we took when we took the concept of tabula rasa. You start out with a blank slate, you work your way upward. I don't know how else to say it. It's a construction. We start with nothing.
Michael?
Yeah, well, I have a book about this, and operators are standing by. Phone 1-800 and go to our webpage. We take credit cards. Right. Probably the less I say about Adam and Eve, the better. I think the knowledge learning question is an interesting one. We're not a blank slate. We're not born. We do have a human nature. I'm sorry. We're not born with knowledge. We don't completely learn all our knowledge. It's both. We're not a blank slate. We have, like, a moral sense, for example. I argue in my next book that we have moral sentiments, feelings of pride and shame and guilt and so forth that evolve. They're in our nature. It doesn't matter to me whether you think God put it there or evolution put it there. It doesn't matter. We have these moral sentiments. No different than, say, the feeling of hunger. You don't have to learn how to digest an apple. Your body has already learned it. Evolution taught it, or God, whatever. But it's in the body. It's in the genes. You don't have to learn that. So we're born with all kinds of things. Jealousy is an incredibly powerful emotion. You don't learn that emotion. You're born with that emotion, and it has very significant reasons for its existence there. So those are forms of knowledge that we're born with, and lots of others we learn.
3 more here and 3 more there, and then we will wrap up.
My Bible says that God created the world in 7 days. Everybody on earth goes by this weekly cycle. Other than creation, where do we find our 7-day, where did the 7-day weekly cycle come from?
Okay.
Doctor, you said that there is no absolute capital T truth. Now, since you said this, I believe that you believe this. My question to you, are you absolutely sure?
This is a pretty simple question, but what time frame did dinosaurs exist, and is there any evidence for that in the Bible?
Dr. Hovind to the right.
Okay, Mr. Schimmer's statement about operators standing by is obviously me referring to my tapes out there, I'd like to point out. I would like to point out, I've been doing this for 14 years. I've never copyrighted my material, ever. Anybody's very free to copy my tapes, send back the originals and get their money back. I don't charge for my seminars. You find me any other evolutionist that does that. I want to see them, okay? Now, where'd the 7-day week come from? I think the only answer is God created it in 6 days and he rested 1. I don't see any other answer to that. As far as dinosaurs, before the flood came, the Bible teaches that people used to live to be 900 years old. It's a simple biological fact that reptiles never stop growing. I think dinosaurs were giant reptiles that lived with Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Noah took them on the ark, probably babies. Just be sure to get a pink one and a blue one. And then after the flood, people killed them, most of them. They were called dragons through most of history. The word dinosaur wasn't even made up till 1841. So for most of history, they're called dragons, and people killed them. And I think there could be a few stragglers still alive today, like Loch Ness Monster and the one that washed up in California, and you can see my video number 3 and get all that. Thank you.
Kyle.
With regard to the